If you've ever wondered how people end up buying into narratives that seem completely disconnected from reality, this intelligent woman is about to break it down perfectly. She's going to explain exactly how ideologies catch on and spread like wildfire. Pay attention.
I covered DAPL, DAPL for Dakota Access Pipeline. And so I just started covering that as a 25-year-old, kind of bought it hook, line, and sinker that there was this narrative that these evil fossil fuel companies were building a pipeline on indigenous land. And I started covering it, and all the videos that I made went really viral. And so there was a feedback loop of I'm getting a lot of professional success from this. And so I just made climate change my kind of whole personality and beat for my 20s, eventually growing my following to 50,000 on Instagram by like 2019. I interviewed Greta Thunberg. I gave AOC one of her first interviews when she was running for Congress in 2017, and that went very viral. So I was very much entrenched in the very progressive and progressive like political movement, and then also the climate stuff from the center of this newsroom, essentially. Yeah, so that was how I basically spent half my 20s, kind of just buying everything as it was sold to me, never really investigating, watched a few documentaries that honestly convinced me that this was an existential threat, and did not have a deep understanding of the science. And to the point where I'll just anecdotally say, like in 2019, I learned that CO2 was only 0.04% of the atmosphere. Up until that point, I've been covering the climate for 4 years, and I didn't even know what percent of the atmosphere CO2 was. So that was how like turned off my critical thinking was, because I was getting so much support from being part of this movement that I just pushed it, right? And that was 5 years of my career.
That was Lucy Biggers. She used to be a climate change activist deeply entrenched in the progressive sphere. What she just laid out is a universal blueprint for ideological capture. When you're at the bottom of the pyramid, the system rewards compliance. You get showered with social validation, money, and a tribe. So why would you ever risk your comfort to question the narrative? And she's right. And I'll be the first one to admit that it took me up until a couple of years ago to realize just how deeply conditioned and delusional I truly was. Breaking out of that takes immense internal strength, and we all like to believe that we are intelligent and standing on the moral high ground. But until we strip away the conditioning, until we ruthlessly question our own paradigms, our habits, and our beliefs in the institutions feeding us these stories, we don't actually own our own minds. If we don't figure out whether our beliefs are justified by actual truth, or if we just made them the fuck up because they, I don't know, feel good, we're going to end up doing far more harm to our communities than good. Reclaim your thinking. Stay sovereign.